Okay, good morning, members.
Good morning, teacher.
How are you?
Good morning, teacher.
We are fine.
We are fine, thank you. Morning, teacher. We are okay.
Okay, that's great. Now, let us, we are continuing from where we left off last time. And last time, I think we had begun on something called photosynthesis, if I could recall properly. Is it?
Yes.
So, we are still continuing with that photosynthesis there. And we had defined, and I had given an equation where we said that when we are looking at photosynthesis, we look at organisms being able to manufacture their own food using simple inorganic matter. That is water, carbon dioxide, in presence of light energy absorbed by chlorophyll to form a carbohydrate or to form a complex organic compound. But as they are doing so during this process, also they give off what? Oxygen as a byproduct. So meaning that if I use this here, and I'll say light energy trapped by chlorophyll, trapped by chlorophyll. And then we end up with a carbohydrate, but in your level, I think the carbohydrate we use is glucose, then plus oxygen as a byproduct. This process here, we need to note that it occurs now majorly, are you getting it? Majorly some of the organisms where it can occur, because there is need of light, definitely, and we are talking about chlorophyll. Definitely, we talk about green plants. That is one organism where this one can go on to take place. But also, there are other bacteria, or even before I go to bacteria, also there is something called algae. Now, algae, if you went through classification, algae belongs under this group of organisms. It belongs under that kingdom. That's where we find algae. And one of the examples of algae, I think I can give Spirogyra. I don't know if people have ever seen Spirogyra, but Spirogyra is filamentous, and it is found in most cases in stagnant water, or in even when water is running. Are you getting it? That's where, but when water is running, you might not find a lot of it. But this one, it is green in color and it is slimy. Are you getting it? That if, for example, you go on to step on any surface which has got that Spirogyra, you just fall down. Actually, it is one of the things which make people to go on to drown in some rivers. You're getting it? That someone steps on Spirogyra and slides and falls in what? In water and is taken. So that is Spirogyra. If you have a jerry can, maybe I'll use that for simplicity. In jerry cans, there are some green things which go on to attach onto the walls of the jerry cans on the inside part. That's what we mean by Spirogyra, if you have never seen one. And it is algae. Also, it is green in color, but please, we need to note it is not a plant. But also some bacteria. Some bacteria. I will not say all of them, but some bacteria. Also, they go on to carry out what? Photosynthesis. That's why the other time I was laboring to say that when we are defining some of these things, there is no need of being specific so much to say green plants. Are you getting it? It will be like as though you are saying other organisms. There isn't any other organism which can carry out what? Photosynthesis, when there are some other organisms. So today, I have given some of those organisms which can carry out what? Photosynthesis. But When we are looking at photosynthesis as a type of nutrition, I will say we look at it from the spot. We look at it from this angle only. I want you to take note of that. Are you getting it? When we are looking at photosynthesis, in most cases, though even this one here, for it has a chloroplast. Okay, let me say, by the way, I think the best, are you getting it? Which I can say. Let me take these two here. Are you getting it? This one here, please, we shall not look at its angle. We look at those ones which have got eukaryotic cells, where I will say that photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast. And green plants and then the algae, for them, they have the chloroplast. So that's why maybe even in primary, for them, they look at photosynthesis only from the green plants angle only, and they don't talk about the others. But we need to note, if you are asked on a paper and they say, give examples of organisms where photosynthesis occurs, and they say, give 3. I don't say now, where am I getting the 3? I know it occurs only in plants. No, please, it can occur also in the algae. Some bacteria also they can carry out that what? Photosynthesis. Now, I would say, as I said, that we are looking at it from so much of an angle of green plants. That's one thing I want us to know. So, what does that mean? Are you getting it? Now, there, I'll come to this. Are you getting it? Or maybe before I come to that, let me first say one thing. That though we rate our equation of photosynthesis as a single stage, it involves a single stage that we are saying carbon dioxide combines with water in presence of sunlight energy trapped by chlorophyll to form the glucose, and then oxygen is what? Given off. Let us, what we need to note, I will say NB. I will say NB. Please take note. This here somehow is misleading. This equation is misleading. And how is it misleading? We should take note that photosynthesis involves 2 stages. Photosynthesis involves 2 stages. Involves 2 stages. That one we need to take note of that. I know I have written down, maybe some individuals might not be seeing that. Sorry about that, because I need the equation. I don't want to remove the equation, but let me assume that people had. I said in B, let us note, photosynthesis involves 2 stages. Photosynthesis involves 2 stages. And which are those 2 stages which I'm talking about? One of the stage, we shall call it a light dependent stage. A light dependent stage. Light dependent stage. If we don't call it a light dependent stage, we shall call it a light stage. Is it clear, my friends? Please. Okay, let me remove this because I want people to see what I'm writing. Are you getting it? One stage is a light dependent stage, sometimes called the light stage. Sometimes called the light what? Stage. Now, what I want us to note, are you getting it? When I said light dependent, what do I mean? I mean that for this stage to occur, light is needed. For this stage to occur, it involves light, if I can use those words. Are you getting it? That light it is important for that reaction to occur. Are you getting it? That is one stage. And what actually occurs in this light stage? For your level, I will just say the products. Are you getting it? One, there is formation in this stage here. There is formation formation of energy. And that is the energy, the chemical energy. That is, it will be required in the next stage which we are talking about. But I'm saying there is formation of energy. Now, this energy, biologically, we use the word ATP. Biologically, we use the word what? ATP. Someone might ask, what is ATP? For today, I will tell you, are you getting it? It is called adenosine triphosphate. That is ATP in full. Adenosine triphosphate. This is the form of energy required or utilized by living organisms. Are you getting it? ATP is a form of energy utilized by living organisms. Are you getting it? So that one. So even though now I remove the word adenosine triphosphate, someone will not say, what is ATP? That is the adenosine triphosphate. The energy in our bodies or in our cells, which goes on to run the different activities in the body. It is in form of ATP. Are you getting it? So that energy in the plants is formed during the light what? This ATP is formed during the light stage. Are you getting it? And in reality, to go into physics a bit, I would say this. Physics has a law where they say, actually they call it the law of energy conservation, something of the sort, where they say that energy is neither created nor is it destroyed, but it can be converted. Are you getting it? Energy is neither created nor is it destroyed. So we cannot create energy and we cannot destroy it, but we can convert it from one form to another form. So if we say it is a light stage and we are saying light is required, light is a form of energy. So this energy, the light energy, is converted into our ATP. It is converted into the energy that runs the different processes in the world, in the organism. So that's the requirement of that light energy there. And one of the things formed, please, that is what? Energy. What is the other thing which occurs during this process of, or during this light stage here? We require light to split water. Are you getting it? We require light to split water into what? Are you getting it? Water is going to be split into the following here. Are you getting it? We shall split it into light energy splits it. Actually, let me use this thing there. Someone might understand that. And I will set light. Are you getting it? And I will put that light energy. Splits water into hydrogen ions. That is chemistry now. That is not biology. Plus what we shall call hydroxyl ions. That's what water is split into. Are you getting it? It is split into hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions. The process of splitting water into these is called photolysis. The process of splitting water into hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions is called photolysis. It is called photolysis. And I will say, I'm assuming that people can see that. Photo means light. Photo means what? Light. Then lysis means what? Lysis, this one here, means splitting. Splitting, that is the... Please, it is not an H, double T. Are you getting it? Someone might say, someone is writing splitting. And we are seeing although it is what? Let me write here, splitting. Are you getting it? Separating. Are you getting it? So, water is split by light into hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions. Are you getting it? So, that is what actually is occurring in the world. And I'll say this one I'm removing it because I don't want to write where they're not seeing. I said after splitting it into this, I'm getting it. The hydroxyl ions, this one's here, combine. So I'll put there that, I'm getting it. And I'll first put this, I'm getting it, because I want it to be balanced. The hydroxyl ions will combine to form water plus oxygen, and they release electrons. Now, if these are 2, and these are 2, these ones I'm seeing they are 3 already. Are you getting it? Now we need to balance it off. Someone has to help me there. We need to balance it what? Off. Because these are 3, these are 2. What if I decide to put 3? That means it might not work. What if I decide to put 2? It might not do what? Work. But what if I decide to put 4? I don't know. Let me try. For me, I'm just trying. Are you getting it? I'm putting, if 4 hydroxyl ions combine together, what will I get? That means here, if I put a 2, these ones will have become 4, isn't it? The hydrogens, now they are balanced. They are 4, 4. What about the oxygen? 2 plus another 2. That means also they are what? Balanced. But the electrons are not yet balanced, because if these ones are 4, that means also the electrons should have been what? 4. So what do? I put 4 here. That is my simple chemistry, please. Don't say now, and I'm assuming that my thing is balanced. Are you getting it? That means there are 4 electrons which are released, and then I have these. Are you getting it? Now, whatever please I'm talking about is occurring in the light dependent stage. There are 2 things which are occurring in the light dependent stage. There is formation of energy, which I said is in form of ATP, and then there is photolysis, or there is splitting up of water, which leads to formation. Now, because these ones have combined, are you getting it? That means we shall look at this, which leads to the formation of hydrogen ions as a product. Are you getting it? There is water of metabolism. There is oxygen, a byproduct, and these electrons, they are there also. Are you getting it? Now, in your level, are you getting it? In your level, what do we need? What is the major thing? What should we note? 1, these hydrogen ions are required in the stage which we are going to be talking about. This one here, the oxygen, is given off as a byproduct. I'm assuming that now you have seen how our equation is misleading, because I say, if you look at that equation critically, somehow it is misleading, you might not understand. Are you getting it? That the thing involves even 2 stages. Are you getting it? So please, what do we want from the light stage? The products of the light stage are these. Are you getting it? The products of the light stage are these. So even I think I removed this one. These are the things, the things which are occurring. Are you getting it? In the light stage. But if we are to look at the products of the light stage, they are only the following things. They are these ones which we require from this. So if I can remove this, I will say products of the light stage, products required in the following stage. ATP, are you getting it? There is ATP. Then there are hydrogen ions. Are you getting it? Plus electrons. Are you getting it? And okay, yeah, let me put them there. Plus electrons. Are you getting it? But majorly, I think you are level. Let me leave hydrogen ions only. Are you getting it? Hydrogen ions. Then what else? We said oxygen is a byproduct. So those are the ones which I will be talking about only. Oxygen is a byproduct. Hydrogen ions will be required in the following stage, and also ATP is required in the following stage. We said the process that leads to the formation of these hydrogen ions is called photolysis of water. Again, it is called what? Photolysis. And what does it involve? It involves light energy splitting the water molecule into hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions, which further combine to form oxygen, which is given off as the byproduct during the process of what? Photosynthesis. Now, I'll go to the light stage. Are you getting it? Yeah, I will go to the light stage. Then I'll come back later as I'm winding up. The products of the second stage, which we are supposed to look at, is this here. The second stage is called the light independent. Light independent. Light independent stage. If we don't call it the light independent stage, we call it the dark stage. If we don't call it the light independent stage, we call it the dark stage. What actually is involved in this dark stage? This is the following. I'm saying stage light. This is the best term to use, light independent stage. Or we say we can call it that. But we usually call it the dark stage. Because students go on to assume that when I use the word dark stage, I might be meaning that it occurs during the night. No, it doesn't occur during the night. It occurs during the day. Are you getting it? It occurs at the same time as the light dependent stage is doing what? Occurring. But for it, it doesn't require light. Are you getting it? Light is not involved. That's why we say light independent, or they use the word dark stage to just say light is not involved. But it is not that it occurs at night. So I don't want you to be confused with that thing. Someone might say, okay, the second stage for it occurs in darkness. No. It doesn't occur in darkness. But it does not involve light, or it does not require light. That's the only thing which we need to note. Now, what actually is in this? I would say that there will be carbon dioxide, the hydrogen ions. I get the hydrogen ions, carbon dioxide plus the hydrogen ions. Are you getting it? And in presence of the ATP, if you remember that, are you getting it? Because I said ATP is what? Involved. And then what shall we end up with? We shall end up with our carbohydrates. So that is how that one goes on. Are you getting it? For it is very, very simple, by the way. It just involves carbon dioxide accepting the hydrogen ions in presence of ATP. Are you getting it? And then we shall get our carbohydrate. That's what occurs in the what? In the light independent stage. But if, for example, I'll use the word insha Allah. Are you getting it? Definitely, being that I'm a Muslim, I'll say, God willing, for those individuals who will go to A level and you're saying you are doing biology, I will say again, if God gives us the chance and we are together, definitely, I will say there are three processes here, but don't mind, I will not talk about them today. Are you getting it? There are three processes here, but I will not talk about them today. For your level, let us understand carbon dioxide will be reduced. Are you getting it? I'll use that word because since I'm using hydrogen ions, carbon dioxide is going to be reduced in presence of ATP to hydrogen ions obtained the other side and the ATP to form our sugar, to form our carbohydrate. That's the light independent state of what? Photosynthesis. And in reality, I think you've seen, are you getting it? The oxygen which we are talking about was produced the other time. Here we don't have any byproducts. Are you getting it? Here we don't have any byproducts. We have only the product, which is what? A sugar. Now, I will say this. Whatever we have been talking about, whatever the stages of photosynthesis which we have been talking about, where do they go on to occur in a green plant? Are you getting it? Where do they go on to occur in a green plant? It is not the whole green plant or the whole plant which carries out this photosynthesis. No, there is out photosynthesis. I will say the organ which is responsible for photosynthesis, where these processes go on to take place, is what we shall be calling a leaf. They occur in a leaf. That's where photosynthesis goes on to occur. And not all parts of the leaves, are you getting it? Not all the leaf is involved in one, in photosynthesis. Now, if we had a chance, I would have said, or I will ask, are you getting it? I'm asking this question here. Who can describe to us a leaf? Who can describe to us now that means I want the cross section. Who can describe the cross section of the leaf? Someone who has that. I'm assuming that we have all covered
Are you guys seeing teacher?
No.
No.
What happened?
No.
It is their network, I think.
Ah,
Yeah, I think it's the network.
what happened?
Have we described what a leaf is?
So now what do we do?
How about we wait?
Wait.
We wait.
We just.
Saying we jazz.
Lane. Hi, Sheila.
Maybe yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Teacher's back, you guys.
Eh.
Sorry for that interruption. Now I'm back. We are saying, who can help us to describe the internal structure of the leaf? This here is under structures of flowering plants. Structures of flowering plants. Which under that, I'm assuming that you should have learned about the shoot system, and then the shoot system, and then the root system. Those are the things which we teach under that part. And under the shoot system, we learn about fruits, we learn about flowers, we learn about leaves, we learn about stems. So that's why I'm saying someone can help us to describe in simple terms, don't mind. Don't, whatever you know. Remember, we should understand one thing. We are learning. Are you getting it? We are just doing what? Learning. I can see Shadia, Shahida. Is it Shahida? Shahida, I can see your hand up.
Yes, it's Shahida.
Yeah, okay. You go ahead and describe and we see.
There is the upper epidermis.
Upper epidermis, that is very good. That is very good, Shahida.
Cuticle.
There is a cuticle.
Palisade mesophyll layer.
There is a
Palisade
mesophyll.
mesophyll layer.
Okay.
I think you can't learn.
Hey, you are reading, Shahida. Yeah? Shahida, you're just reading. Okay. As we go on, she has helped us a bit. I will say that the leaf, if we look at its internal structure, it has, I will say it has 3 layers. Are you getting it? I will say it has 3 layers. And which are those 3 layers? There is an upper epidermis as upper epidermis as the first layer. Then there is a mesophyll layer. That is the middle layer. And then there is a lower epidermis as the other layer. Are you getting it? So these are the 3 layers which I'm talking about. There is an upper epidermis. There is a mesophyll layer. Then there is a lower epidermis. The upper epidermis and the lower epidermis, for them, they are the same. The structures of their cells, they are the same. Then the mesophyll layer can be subdivided into 2 tissues. So meaning that also I can easily come up at one point and I say maybe the leaf has, because this one's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can say it has 4 layers. And the mesophyll layer is subdivided depending, the cells are not the same. Structurally, these cells are different, as what we are going to see. They are not the same. There is the one next to the upper epidermis. We shall call those cells palisade. They are called palisade. Are you getting it? So we say palisade mesophyll layer. Then the one next to the lower epidermis, we shall refer to it, or we shall refer to those cells as being spongy. Now, what you need to note, that these words here are descriptive words. This one is called spongy because of having, are you getting it? There are spaces in between. These cells are more of spherical and they cannot go on to arrange to pack themselves. Well, this one is palisade. They are cylindrical, columnar and cylindrical. Are you getting it? And packed close to one another. Are you getting it? So that's why for them they are called what? The palisade. So I would say, if I'm asked, if I was the one I'm saying, if I'm asked, the leaf had 3 layers: upper epidermis, the mesophyll layer, and then the lower epidermis. Though we need to note, the cuticle is not a layer. Are you getting? The cuticle is not a layer. The cuticle is part of the upper and lower epidermis, because these cells here are the ones which go on to secrete that cuticle. The upper epidermis, the cells of the upper epidermis secrete the cuticle on the upper layer. Those ones of the lower epidermis secrete the cuticle of the lower layer. So for them, we don't take them to be like what? Layers. Now I'll go ahead to draw this. Please, you will have to what? To look at my drawing. I might not be so good at drawing as you, but I'm trying to come up with the internal structure of the leaf. Let us note, the cells making up the epidermis, for them, they are rectangular. Sometimes we say they are block, or brick shaped. Let me use the word brick, not block. Are you getting it? They are brick shaped. They are rectangular in what? In nature. These cells forming the upper epidermis, they don't contain chloroplast in them. They have the other things, but they don't contain chloroplast in them. That's one thing which we need to look at. So I'll just draw it in such a way, because remember I said they are rectangular and close to one another, like that. So I will draw maybe 3 of them. Inside, this is a cell wall. Then inside they have a cell membrane. They have a cell vacuum. They have a nucleus. Are you getting it? So I'll put there my cell membrane. Then I'll put there a cell vacuum. I'll put there nucleus. The same applies to that. Are you getting it?
Membrane, nucleus.
That is very good. Are you getting it? Definitely, someone shouldn't say the cytoplasm is not there. Please, the cytoplasm is there. Are you getting it? Someone might say, oh, it doesn't possess cytoplasm. No, it possesses even what? The cytoplasm. But remember what we said, it secretes a what? A cuticle. So always we put there another layer on top like that. Are you getting it? So this one is to represent the cuticle, and always we use the word wax cuticle. Are you getting it? That's what we use. And what is the purpose of the cuticle? The cuticle is for protection. It protects the leaf from losing water. And also it protects the leaves from entry of microorganisms. Are you getting it? Also, it protects it from entry of microorganisms. That is the purpose of the word, the waxy cuticle. Now, after that, we go to the palisade layer. So I'll draw my cells like that. Remember, we said for them, they are what? Cylindrical, and they are closely packed like that. So those are my cells, my palisade cells. Those are the palisade what? Cells. Close to one another elongated or elongated and cylindrical. Now, those are the cell walls. So we put there the cell membrane inside this. For all of them, we shall put there the cell membrane, like that. And then also there, cell membrane, the cell membrane. In all of them is there. Then we put there the cell vacuum, which I'll put like that. And I will say those are my cell vacuums. Then after putting there the cell vacuum, I'm putting there the nucleus. I will put there that as the nucleus. Then on top of that, I'm going to put there also something else. And what am I going to put? I'm going to put the chloroplasts. I'm putting there the chloroplasts like that. Actually, they're supposed to be oval shaped. Are you getting it? Small but oval shaped, and numerous of them. Because this cell here, the palisade cell, has got numerous chloroplasts. It has got numerous chloroplasts. And each cell has something like about 100 chloroplasts inside it. So those ones, you need to note that. So I have put there micronumerators, numerous of them. What does that mean? That the palisade mesophyll layer is the site for photosynthesis, or it is the tissue which carries out what? Photosynthesis. Now, I'm saying someone is asking, what does the word numerous mean? Very many. Are you getting it? We find there a lot of chloroplasts. Sometimes now what we shall do in some things, in order to differentiate them, we can also put there dots like that. Are you getting it? To show that means it contains pigments. Are you getting it? If you find there dots, it is to mean that they contain pigments. Are you getting it? But sometimes we just leave them like that. Are you getting it? Even the cytoplasm is there. Now, that is the palisade layer. Then, which is the other layer? Now, these ones which we said, for them, they are irregular. Are you getting it? These ones, for them, they are irregular. And since they are irregular, that means they cannot go on to do what? To bind together. They leave spaces in between. Are you getting it? Now I'm going to use only two so that even today, if I use two, they will not fit. So let me try to make them smaller. Let me try to make them smaller so that we can fit there another layer. Are you getting it? Something of the sort. So I'll have them like that. Like that. Now, that is my spongy. Are you getting it? This here is my spongy layer. The cells are irregular, but they leave spaces in between. Are you getting it? The cells are irregular. That means they are not something which is smooth. And then also they have the cell membrane inside, and then they will have chloroplasts, but for them, they're going to have fewer chloroplasts as compared to the one, as compared to the palisade. Are you getting it? There is a cell vacuum inside. Are you getting it? The cell vacuum is there, like that. And then have chloroplasts. They're not clear. Okay, clear.
See.
You can't see, but have you seen these ones?
Yes.
The ones
Yes,
the
teacher.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Can we see now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So now I'm picking one of them. Are you getting it? To show what is inside.
Teacher, I cannot hear.
You cannot?
Teacher.
Teacher, we are hearing you
I'm not
clearly. One more count.
The girl who said she can't hear, there's a problem with your network.
There inside. Then we have a cell vacuum there. We shall have the nucleus. I'm using that to differentiate it from the other. Then we have some few which are not to blame.
Teacher,
Mhm.
try chempurira.
Ngo olabye.
Teacher, I'm not hearing.
There's a problem with your network then, because everyone else can hear.
Now we are saying, let us come back to this, please. I'm saying for the spongy cells, the spongy mesophyll cells, they have chloroplasts.
Teacher, I'm not hearing.
There's a problem with your network. Stop
Teacher,
shouting.
Can you become
musere kuwulira.
Okay, you guys. Now,
now the spongy mesophyll cells? For them, they have very few chloroplasts in them. They don't have a lot as compared to the palisade cells. So what does that mean? That photosynthesis can occur in the palisade cell, and also on a lower rate also can occur in the one in the spongy, because also it contains chloroplasts. There are very few chloroplasts here. This one has very many, numerous, a lot of them. That's why if we say, where does photosynthesis go on to occur? I would say the palisade mesophyll layer. Am I right there? The palisade mesophyll cells. That's where photosynthesis goes on to occur. Though even here, it can occur at a lower rate. Are you getting it? Eh?
Excuse me, teacher, I cannot hear you.
Maybe you try leaving the
Yes,
meeting.
I think it's a problem.
But
with
I'm
your
not hearing
network, because the rest
anything.
of us are hearing. Stop complaining. It's you with a problem, not teacher.
Teacher,
Children
not
want to talk. I've
hearing.
already told you.
Stop shouting. Maybe you're just
Yeah,
muted.
you guys are hearing. Is that what?
And maybe
Now, I was saying that majorly photosynthesis occurs in this palisade mesophyll layer. Though to a lesser extent, also in the mesophyll layer, the spongy mesophyll layer, also photosynthesis occurs because the cells have some few chloroplasts. Are you getting it? Eh? That's what I wanted to say. Now, because of maybe the space, I want to remove this because I wanted to ensure that also I put there the what? Put there the lower layer. Are you getting it? The lower layer also is made up of the cells which are similar to this. And I would say also they are rectangular. Let me assume we can see them properly. Are you getting it? So they are rectangular, close to one another, but I want to put there something in addition, though also it is present in this other layer. Always we put it on the lower layer, because most of the plants, most of these cells, all this structure which I want to put, majorly it is found on the under surface. It is not found on the upper surface. And those cells, for them, they are not rectangular. For them, they are being shaped. They are not rectangular. For them, they are bean shaped. Sometimes we say they are kidney shaped. Are you getting it? Sometimes we say they are kidney shaped. So, since I'm saying they are bean shaped, I will use this here. And so that is what I am getting it. The cells are kidney. That is what I am getting it. The cells are kidney. Please, someone, can you actually mute? So now we have another cell. This one's continue like that. So we shall have our cells like that. Then definitely they have the cell membrane. They're like these cells, please. But for them, I think someone has noted already that when we are talking about the epidermal cells, we haven't said they contain any chloroplasts in them. Are you getting it? These ones here, we call them epidermal cells. They don't contain any chloroplasts in them. That's one thing which we need to know. Other than being rectangular, because we can say, how are the epidermal cells different from the palisade mesophyll cells, or different from the spongy mesophyll cells? They are rectangular in nature. They lack chloroplasts in them. Are you getting it? They don't have any chloroplast at all. But what should we note about these ones which I said they are kidney shaped? Those cells, for them we shall not call them epidermal cells. We shall call them guard cells. We shall call them guard cells. Now, please, the guard cells which I'm looking at, I drew something like this. Because someone might say, I'm not seeing. Now I'm drawing it there like that. That's how they look like. Remember, I said they are bean shaped or kidney shaped. Are you getting it? Chakunzira, I can see your hand up.
But teacher, the guard cells are part of the lower epidermis.
Now I say, let me stress. Please let us note. Are you getting it? These cells here, the guard cells, can be either found in, or they can be part of the upper epidermis or the lower epidermis. Are you getting it? They can be part of the upper epidermis or the lower epidermis. But most of our plants, let me use this. Are you getting it? Most of the terrestrial plants, these cells here, the guard cells, are majorly and numerous in the lower. Are you getting it? Very few are this side, the upper epidermis. Reason why are they very few the upper side? Are you getting it? Because these cells go on to open up. This one here is an opening, which we shall call the stomatopore. An opening called the stomatopore. Are you getting it? And it will be like it is open. Are you getting it? So it is a site where water goes on to leave the leaf. Are you getting it? Where water leaves the what? The leaf. So if they are found, more are found this side, that means the leaf will be losing a lot of water. Are you getting it? Because they will be exposed to direct what? Sunlight. That's the reason why most of them are in the lower, and so when we are drawing, we indicate them to be in the lower than in the upper. But please, they can be found either the upper side or the lower side. But the upper side, they will be fewer as compared to those ones in the lower side. Is it clear?
Yes.
So now I was still drawing. Are you getting it? I'm describing these two. This is a guard cell and this is a guard cell, but they are attached to one another. Are you getting it? Now, also they have a cell wall. They have a cell membrane like that. There is a cell membrane, they have a cell vacuole inside, they have a nucleus. So those ones now, I think we are together there. Are you getting it? But for them, they are a bit different from these other epidermal cells. How are they different? For them, they contain what? Chloroplasts. Are you getting it? They are not like any other. For them, they have some chloroplasts in them. Is it clear? If you are asked, how is a guard cell different from another epidermal cell? They are kidney shaped or bean shaped. They have vacuoles. Are you getting it? Eh? Well, other epidermal cells, for them, they are rectangular and they lack chloroplasts. Are you getting it? Eh? Now, that is, so this one here is a guard cell. Now, I don't know. Let me just put that. Are you getting it? That is a guard cell. Are you getting it? Eh? This is stomatophore. Are you getting it? Eh? Now, the guard cells and the stomatophore, they make up what we call our stomata. Are you getting it? That makes up what we call the what? The stomata. Are you getting it? And so, this is the opening where our oxygen and the carbon dioxide go on to be what? To be exchanged. In the case of during the day, the plant will be taking in carbon dioxide and it will be giving off what? Oxygen. So now another thing, because my drawing, the problem is not so good. Are you getting it? Because I wanted to name upper epidermis, then palisade mesophyll layer, then spongy mesophyll layer, then lower epidermis. Okay? Upper epidermis, palisade mesophyll layer, spongy mesophyll layer, lower epidermis. Then these spaces here, the spaces we find in the mesophyll layer, the spongy mesophyll layer, are called substomatal air chamber. Bushra, can you ask me? Now I'm saying the spaces found in the mesophyll, the spongy mesophyll layer, the spaces found in the spongy mesophyll layer are called the substomatal air chamber or air spaces. Sometimes for simplicity, someone can say air spaces. Are you getting it? Eh? Or we say substomatal. Are you getting it? Eh? They use that word, substomatal air chamber. Are you getting it? But so what becomes simpler for you is what you do, what you use. Are you getting it? And yeah, for the meantime, actually, that's what I wanted majorly, was to talk about this. This is where photosynthesis goes on to occur in those cells, but specifically in this cell, where does photosynthesis occur? It occurs in the chloroplasts. Are you getting it? Now I can remove this, and I'm saying photosynthesis occurs. Are you getting it? In the what? In the palisade mesophyll layer. Mesophyll layer cells. But specifically in which organelle? Specifically, I don't know if it's written like that, specifically which organelle? Are you getting it? Specifically in the chloroplasts. Let me assume that it is okay. It occurs in these cells, but in these cells, it occurs in the chloroplasts. Are you getting it? It occurs in these cells, but exactly where? In the chloroplasts. So now, after looking at all that,
excuse me, teacher, isn't palisade double L?
double L? Please, you check. Are you getting it? Eh? It might be double L. Yeah, you check about
No,
that.
it is single.
It's single. Eh? I'm not so certain. I'm not so certain, so I will not declare that it is double.
How sure are you guys?
For me, I'm not so sure. Are you getting it? I'm not so sure, but always I use single L. I don't know why. I have never used double L. I have never used double L. Always I use what? But we shall check also. I'll go back and check about it. Eh? Now,
Thank you, teacher.
as we've said that photosynthesis, we've seen the structure of that. Are you getting it? Now, what we want from this, I would say the following. Are you getting it? I would say, how is the leaf adapted? How is the leaf adapted to carry out? Carrying out photosynthesis. Are you getting it? I'm assuming that all of us we are seeing that. How is the leaf adapted to carry out photosynthesis? How is it adapted to function? Now that is where we are right now. Are you getting it? After looking at the structure, are you getting it? Then we come to how is it adapted. Now those ones there, I think every person can give us something. Are you getting it? Every person can give us what? Something. How is it adapted to you? Are you getting it? How do you see it from what we drew and from what we studied, what photosynthesis is? Are you getting it? How is the leaf adapted to carrying out photosynthesis? I can see
Chlorophyll.
that is very good. The leaf contains, are you getting it? Leaf contains chlorophyll. Now, in your level, if you give me the leaf contains chlorophyll, if you find me sober enough and sympathetic enough, I might give you a half. But if you don't find me sober enough, I will not give you anything. Are you getting it? Eh? I will not give you what? Anything. Reason, you have given a feature. This is a feature. That's how we call it. Are you getting it? You have given a feature. But what is the use of that feature too? Are you getting it? In the process of photosynthesis. That's now the question. Are you getting it? Eh? That I give an adaptation. So this is now the adaptation. Then I
Teacher,
give importance of what role is it. I was trying to explain why I'm not giving a point. Are you getting it? Eh? That we have given an adaptation. Are you getting it? But of what use is that adaptation? Of what role is it in the process of photosynthesis?
Before mute, please mute. Who's in class? Such a deep voice.
Whoever Sarah
Now, I will say that how do I correct this? I'll just say the leaf contains chlorophyll, which absorbs sunlight or which traps sunlight, which is required for photosynthesis. Is it okay? The leaf contains chlorophyll that absorbs or traps sunlight, which is important in the process of what? Photosynthesis. That's how we are supposed to put our adaptations when we are doing what? Answering. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Another adaptation, I can see Chapunzire.
Okay. So can you say the palisade cells contain many chloroplasts? which allow light to be converted into energy by the leaf.
Having many chloroplasts, don't you think you are just increasing? Are you getting it? Like, for example, I can say site for photosynthesis, that is one. Are you getting it? Increases the surface. Are you getting it? If not that, I can look at having numerous chloroplasts. Are you getting it? Which is the site for photosynthesis. Are you getting it? Numerous chloroplasts, which is a site for photosynthesis. But also, I can say increasing the surface area for absorption. Remember the chloroplast, that's where we find the chlorophyll. Are you getting it? So, other than being a site, also that means having numerous chloroplasts, that means you'll be having a lot of chlorophyll, are you getting it? Which will be absorbing the what? The sunlight. Is it okay?
Yes.
Agatha, I can see your hand.
I'm giving an answer.
Yeah, no problem.
Leaves have a large surface area, so more light is
Now,
attracted.
what feature, Agatha, before you leave, what feature do they possess which makes them to have a large surface area? Muhindo, can you first mute yourself, please? Muhindo, Mary, first mute yourself because we are hearing other people in the background. Let us hear only those ones who are putting up their hands. Agatha, what do they have? What do leaves possess? What feature do they possess which makes them to have a large surface area?
Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll. Okay. I will say leaves are you getting it? In most cases, most of the plants which we have, they have got broad. They have broad leaves. Are you getting it? Broad leaves, which offers, are you getting it? The being broad is what goes on to what? To bring about the leaf to offer a larger surface area for absorption. Are you getting it? If we are looking at the leaf itself, if they are not broad, like now we look at the maize plant, are you getting it? This one, it is narrow but elongated. Are you getting it? Narrow but elongated, which means that also it offers a larger surface what area. So we shall say leaves, in most cases, leaves are flattened, broad to offer a larger surface area for the absorption of sunlight or for the trapping of what? Sunlight. Is it okay? They are flattened and broad. Are you getting it? Offering a large surface area for the trapping of what? Sunlight. I can see who? Wendy?
Teacher, I'm giving an answer.
Okay, that is very good.
The leaf has a waxy cuticle to reduce rate of transpiration.
Yeah. So, when we look at that one there, packaging in it, maybe what we can say that it has a waxy cuticle that reduces on the loss of water, which is a raw material for photosynthesis. Are you getting it? Don't just, because it might, someone will say that, you know, the answer you have given is looking at how the leaves are adapted to another process, that is transpiration. Are you getting it? So what do I do? If I want to bring in the cuticle, are you getting it? I would say it has a waxy cuticle that reduces on the loss of water, which is a raw material. So making it related to what? I relate it to photosynthesis. But even I can say this, It has got a thin, transparent waxy cuticle. A thin, transparent waxy cuticle. Thin, transparent, by the way, transparent, I think, is it written like that? Transparent waxy cuticle. Now, when I use the word thin, that means there isn't a lot of resistance to light entering. Are you getting it? Being transparent, that means it can allow in light. Because if it was opaque, that means light wouldn't have been able to do what? To cross the waxy cuticle. Are you getting it? So, when you're looking at that, just say that's a thin, transparent waxy cuticle that allows in light. That allows in what? Light. I can see, proceed.
Teacher, I haven't understood.
You haven't understood what? Proceed, who is I thought it is a girl. Okay, I'm saying that the cuticle, if for example, I'll use this. I have something here. Are you getting it? I have found a book from here. Now, this book, if I put it there, tell me you are seeing anything.
No?
But if, for example, I had got just to get glass, but the problem, I don't have any glass here. Okay, yeah, I have got something here, which might work as glass for the meantime. And I'm putting there something like glass. Tell me you are not seeing or you are seeing.
Yeah.
You're not seeing.
Shall we are seeing?
Yes, see.
Shall we can see, but not
Shall
that,
we
like,
can
not that
Shall we
well.
can see? Shall we can see?
Not clear.
Shall we can see?
You can see, but something is not clear, isn't it? Huh?
It's more
Proceed.
transparent.
Exactly, teacher.
So now what I wanted was that if I had got pure glass, are you getting it? Because this one now, it is just a ruler. Are you getting it? That's what I'm using. And if I had got pure glass, that means for this one here, wherever I can put it, are you getting it? Someone will be able to see something, though it is not as clear, meaning that this one now becomes translucent. Are you getting it? But we are saying that if it was glass, light goes on. Our cuticle is like a glass, that it allows in light. Are you getting it? If it wasn't allowing in light, that means light wouldn't have reached the what? The palisade cells, where photosynthesis is close to the map. Yeah. So the cuticle is transparent, allow that light to cross. Nagawa, I can see your hand.
We Nagawa.
Teacher, I've now understood.
We proceed.
Leaves
Down your hand.
Namtebi.
Teacher, first repeat that part where we're saying that at the beginning.
The leaf contains stomata for gaseous exchange.
Wow.
Now, some people, can you try to behave? If I haven't asked you, if I haven't asked you to talk, can you be mature enough and you don't talk?
What can
We
you
are
do?
not playing. Are you getting it? Huh? We are not playing, please. It is not something that you are just supposed to play around if you feel like playing. Eh? So whoever is using a deep voice and so on, please, can you behave?
I don't want.
Give them to box. Give them to box.
Excuse me, if you have brain and if you have something to do in class.
Wow. Silika.
Please behave. Oh my goodness. If you don't understand, please leave. No one is
Please,
forcing
we
you.
shall start from there
Our
next time.
same narrative.
We shall start from there next time.
Boy, shut up.
Mute all of us. These boys have no sense.
Mute
Lower
them.
your hands, some of you.
Remove them from the meeting.
Can you remove some people?
Because you're old.
Remove.
Tell Mr. Namdala to remove them.
You're very
If not,
stupid.
they leave the lesson if they're not interested. This is too much. Next is of teacher.
I'll start
Old
from there
guys.
next time.
Let
everyone put on their camera.
My answer.
Can mute us.
Stop seeking attention.
put down your hand.
You put it down for me.
Our lesson.
Even put boys on that.
Wait, Elizabeth. Silika.
I don't know, it's girls who sub the links.
Wait, Martha.
Can't
No,
get the link.
No, honesty.
No, with that one, but now it's not like as if I interested to hear his manly voice.
People listen.
Sarati.
People, girls listen. Girls listen. As I told you people, it's you who